Welcome to Mystic Moons. This is a reading for Cancer. The Cancerian collective, Cancer Sun, Cancer Moon, Cancer Rising. Perhaps you have several planets in Cancer. Maybe Cancer is your signature sign. Maybe you have multiple houses in Cancer. Maybe you have Cancer in the 4th house. Maybe you have a Cancer Venus. Well, personal planets in any sort of energy is pretty strong. But if you feel particularly Cancerian energy, well, welcome. This is a reading for you. Now, Cancer, out of all the many Cancers that are out there, and all the many messages, Cancer, that could be shared, we're just going to go and see one message right now, just one message of what could be for Cancer. Cancer, if you appreciate my time, let me know. Cancer, give me a thumbs up. And Cancer, if you have any questions or comments, let me know, Cancer. You can write them in the comments below. Of course, as you know, it's a collective reading, so take it as it resonates. If it resonates, what resonates? And of course, if you'd like to send a little love my way, donation details are in the description. So, Cancer, shall we go and see what is the message? What is energy? What kind of energy is in Cancer, the Cancerian collective right now? Eight of Pentacles. Busy at work realizing your hopes and dreams, perhaps. Perhaps trying as well in this energy, Cancer, to make up for lost time. Three of Swords, there were some delays, some things did not perhaps turn out as you wanted, or perhaps two, in this energy with the World and Three of Swords. Things that you hope to have accomplished, they're not being accomplished on the timetable that you would like, or delays. You know, those sorts of energies are here. However, the main energy here is that now a flurry of work is coming. Perhaps things have been delayed. Things have not been progressing to schedule or resulting as you would like, but hope and faith are alive and well. The opportunity to go for your dreams is still very much viable. So first of all, Cancer, in the message that I have here, forget the past. Almost ironic to say that, right? But yes, forget the past. You know, you handled the past as best that you could. I'm also going to say here too, world, a lot of things were out of your control in the first place. It was on the environment itself. Nothing to do about how hard you tried for a certain outcome. So we have that energy here, and with the Star. Also interesting to note too, before I completely fold everything in, I want that to be separate. With the World, with the Star goes down to 8 energy numerically. So we have an 8 with our 8 of Pentacles. Star goes down to 8. We have destiny, fate. It was necessary for you, I'm going to say again, in that Three of Swords, world energy, for you to be slowed down, For some reason, some higher purpose, some greater reason, you are purposely slowed down. Because whatever you are working on, the new things or the new way that you are operating, is necessary. Something about the stagnation, the slowness, the sluggishness, the perhaps barrenness of before Cancer was necessary, because without that, you would not be operating where you are right now, how you are right now, the skills you've learned. It was necessary for you to learn those skills in order for you to go and do the work you're doing now and to continue doing, or the work you have yet to do. How you move, how you operate, how you think, how you move throughout the world. Not just like, I'm not talking about 9 to 5 work. I mean the work in which you put forth in living, which encompasses both your daytime and nighttime selves. Hello, everybody. Thank you for the like. So that's 6 of Pentacles. Excuse me, 8 of Pentacles. 8 of Pentacles gets a 7 of Pentacles. Oops. I just fell out. In fact, I'm going to shuffle that one more time because it did. 8 of Pentacles also gets some more Pentacles, some Taurus energy coming in here with 7 of Pentacles, 5 of Pentacles. Maybe Taurus energy is particularly strong in your chart. Maybe there's somebody with significant Taurus energy around you, or has some sort of impact, some footprint, some fingerprint in you some way. Doesn't necessarily have to be close, but I'm going to say impactful. Let's go and see what else. In the Chariot. Chariot, of course, is Cancerian energy in the major arcana. Bottom of the deck energy, High Priestess. Things are, first of all, still unfolding. Gee. Like an onion here, Cancer, you unroll one layer of skin and there's another one yet to come. So first of all, know too that the energy, and of course this could be because we're reading for the collective, but overall the message that I have for the collective is that there's many more mysteries. There's like truth being revealed. I feel like realizations that are being made. Also, too, in this energy, things that you have hoped for prior, Cancer, now coming to you, perhaps in this energy as well. Maybe something that you hoped for or wished for or really thought about, Cancer, were denied from experiencing or obtaining or moving towards even back in Taurus season, back in the spring. Think about that too, Cancer. Was there anything that you wanted back in the spring? Because that could be coming around whatever you wanted back then, perhaps whoever you wanted to see back then. Definitely, Cancer, whatever you thought about. I'm going to say too, back then, in the spring. That could be coming up to you now. That's just a side note. Anyway, yes, things are still unfolding. Some things are being realized, some things are coming to the light, But overall, many, many, many more things, Cancer. Your road is still deep. Things still being, there's possibilities here. Let me put it that way. Nothing is yet decided. And so in that case, there's movement. Let me say too, in this energy, Cancer, where you ultimately end up, how you ultimately end up, all of this energy is very, very, very much in flux. It's not like you're going to end up, for instance, if I was to use an analogy, definitely being a pink color or definitely being a blue color, definitely being orange or red. It's like in this energy, you can still be any color you want. It's not like you have to go to the north or you're going to end up in the north. You can end up in the equator. You can end up underwater. You can end up in the sky. Lots of possibilities there that are still being open to you, still being unfolded. Precisely the reason why you were halted in that world and Three of Swords energy. So, Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles gets a Three of Swords. Six of Wands. Ten of Swords. What is working for you and what isn't working for you could not be clearer. If I can get what's behind that one. What is behind that one? Four of Cups is Cancerian energy. Two of Wands, nine of, Seven of Pentacles in this energy. Essentially, the things that haven't been working could not be obvious to you, more obvious to you. And you know very clearly what it is you have to change, what it is you have to let go, and how you're not going to move. Maybe not really knowing how you're going to innovate, but you know definitely what you're not going to do, what you're not going to accept. It's like a whole bunch of things have popped up and they have that toxic nuclear waste type symbol on there. You're very aware of what is still healthy and what is diseased and not part of your life going forward. Five of Pentacles gets the strength. Six of Pentacles, some more Taurus energy. Ace of Cups. Some hard lessons. Some hard lessons. And those hard lessons were necessary in order for, again, you to see things differently, you to, I don't know, it's like reach the full, almost like the full promise of what you're capable of or what you could achieve. You could only really be qualified or be prepared, be able, be equipped to get it. by going through some intense things. This can be a little different for everybody, but essentially what this Five of Cups is, what are the qualities and characteristics, Cancer, that you consider to be intrinsic to yourself? Ace of Cups is cancerian energy. You probably thought about that. What are the things that make you uniquely you? What are your values as well? What is it that you will compromise on? What is it that you want to go and change in yourself? There's been a very strict period here, harsh period here, in which you've had to go deep within yourself and do that sort of internal housekeeping of what it is you'll keep and what it is you'll discard. Again, who are you as a person? Forcing you to take a look into what you are and then act on it. Very harsh energy. But strong energy. Very strong energy, very harsh energy. Anyway, we have the Chariot. Chariot gets a 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Wands, 3 of Pentacles, Page of Swords, 3 of Cups, as well as Cancerian energy. That 2 of Cups wants to go and say hi, which also is Cancerian energy. But I'm curious what's behind here. Nine of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, Hangman. Cancer, you know how you make metal stronger. You heat it up, and then it goes into the fire, and then it's refined, right? Whether by hammer and anvil, or perhaps maybe it's welded onto something else. But when you work with metal, it's all about softening it up, and then what either you add on to it to make it something durable, make it something strong. Supposedly, Cancer, too, when you do metal work, if you ever have the chance to do metal work, there are some people who say your metal piece isn't truly done efficiently unless you can take your piece and drop it from a tall height, maybe bang it with a hammer. Right? You try and destroy it, and you see how well it retains its shape. Does it retain its shape? How well does it retain its shape? And does it break or fracture? And Cancer, what I have here is forging. You've been undergoing some trials. Some trials are definitely in your experience, intense ones. And all that is because it wants you to evolve into a certain type of person. It wants you, Cancer, whether it's a good person or a bad person, it's really irrelevant. It's about your soul's contract, Cancer. and the type of person that you envision yourself to be, and how truly and accurately do you reflect the person you are, the person you feel you are, in your actions and in your words. And it's like in this energy, Spirit wants you to be true and authentic to yourself, wants to remind you of the person you believe you are, and has forced you to walk down the path. The person you see inside of you, and show that person to everyone around you. Cancer, this chariot clarified by these 3 cards. A little bit like it's so hard, Cancer, to go and find the right people. 10 of Wands, 3 of Pentacles. So hard to find the right people, the right environment to go, maybe even just to work with. But you'll find that, Cancer, through being honest with yourself, by being as honest and true to the self you love in your heart, the self you want to love in your heart, and having that candor and transparency, first of all, for yourself, and walking into that confidence. That's who you'll attract, Cancer. People in the same energy who also have the courage. May not be necessarily what is acceptable or celebrated, but it'll be authentic. Authentic, their version of authenticness and your version of being authentic. That's what this energy that I have, Cancer. I have an evolution of self. And to realize your dreams first, Cancer, you must constantly solidify and define your definition of yourself. And Cancer, with the people, as you do that, ensure the people around you also have that commitment to defining themselves as accurately, as honestly, and as dedicated to whatever that version is of self that they have inside themselves. Cancer, I don't really know in this energy, should I read signs? I do have significant Taurus energy, especially with 5 of, 5 of Pentacles, 6 of Pentacles, 7 of Pentacles. All that is Taurus energy. All we're missing is Hierophant. And maybe the Empress. Empress, I always read between Cancer and Taurus anyway. But there is significant Taurus energy, so therefore that's why I also ask, in the spring, there probably were some significant realizations, significant changes to your personality, or redefining or solidification somewhere, maybe all of those things, Cancer, that happened to you, that continues to build up the character of who you are today and the character of who you'll be tomorrow. And of course, significant Taurus energy, somebody with that could play a role if you yourself do not have it, or both. all three could apply. I also do have Virgo energy that came through as well here. I have Aquarius energy. I then have Capricorn energy, Libra, Leo, strong Leo. I'm going to say I have strong Leo, some Gemini, some Sagittarius. But more than those things, I feel like earlier this year, and this could also be a literal, or excuse me, a figurative type of, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning where I am, 3 o'clock. So a little slow. But it could also be like the spring of seeing things differently, right? An awakening. But that awakening, literally, something could have happened to your shift in your energy. Come spring, and in that shift, the results of it are going to start to grow roots now. And perhaps too, in that initial energy we had with Eight of Pentacles and the Star, with the roots that are now starting to gain a foothold, Cancer, you'll have some very unique leaves starting to push out. And those leaves, you should be quite pleased with. Anyway, Cancer, that is my reading for you. If you have any comments, let me know. Till next time. Bye-bye.